Hey, hey, hey. What's all this white stuff? Woo! I guess it's probably a total of maybe 4 inches, but extremely windy. You can see it's probably a foot up on the garage there, but nothing here. So must have gotten some kind of swirl last night and nothing at all fell here. Crazy enough. A little bit is melted because it's just the way it is around here in the high desert. I know growing up back east, this kind of snowfall would be literally on the ground till April. Just never melted. Let's close that camper door up. Hey, what's up, Billy? Yeah, just going over the snowfall. That's why I haven't been doing many videos. It's just been crazy up here in the high desert. And we got hit pretty good last night. I'd say 4 to 5 inches. And just extreme winds. I just showed a spot in the yard that got absolutely nothing. So there must have been just a twirl of wind here. Just crazy. 5, 6 feet spot, maybe out to my Kawasaki Mule. Yeah, we carry Lola the dog there on the back on the kennel sometimes. But just crazy winds. Wind chill was just insane. But anyway, the title to the show is better to be lucky than to be good. And I was extremely lucky last week, guys. We were down into the teens. And I keep my van heated. And that was the heater that was on the opening clip there. Just electric heater. I run an extension cord, as you guys can see there, the yellow cord. I just sneak it up in the side door there and I plug in a heater. Well, the heater failed. And pure luck, I spent the 3-day weekend with President's Day and installed heaters underneath my batteries and underneath my fresh water tank. So they're basically tank heaters. I just bought them off of Amazon. They've got internal thermostats, and they turn on about 45 degrees Fahrenheit and shut off about 85 degrees Fahrenheit. So they just kind of do their thing. You can just wire them directly hot. They're 12 volts. So if you're in the market for looking something to keep your lithium batteries warm, I would highly advise it, because it basically saved me I think it was $3,000 or $4,000. I can't remember when I bought the batteries that I purchased. I bought 4 off-brand. They're Ampere Time, cheapest lithium batteries I could find, but 4 200 amp hour batteries, the big huge ones. They're like 2-in-1 and they're lithium. So that's one of the cons. You got a lot of pros with having lithium setup, but one of the big cons is lithium can't be in freezing conditions while being discharged or charged. So it kind of sucks in a lot of ways. Now you can just disconnect everything, put a shut-off switch to the batteries, just disconnect them completely and winterize your van build, which is, probably what most people do. I choose not to because I just kind of feel like a space heater. It's probably going to cost me about $1 a day just to keep the chill out of there, keep the water from freezing, keep the lithium batteries happy. But you do roll the dice when you're just using a space heater because it can just go out at any time. Hence why I installed those mats underneath the freshwater tank and the batteries last weekend. Hey, there's Zapton. What's up, brother? Good to see you. Correct. There's no damage if they freeze, but they just can't be charged. They can't be discharged. So, if you're in a spot like that where you can't be plugged into, a land amount of power, you're having to pay for fuel for a generator for continuous power. The 12 volt with the lithium batteries, they kind of support themselves. In reality, they, especially if you have a big enough battery bank, of course. I've got 800 amp hours of battery bank. So they're pretty much self-supportive. I think each heater drew, what was it, 60 watts of power. And you'll take the 60 watts into 12 volts, divide that, and you come up with 5 amps. So virtually, I had 4 of them. I put 3 under the batteries, most importantly, and just stabbed the 4th one underneath the water tank just to kind of keep it from freezing. And my water did freeze that night. I lost that portable heater I had in there that I showed on the opening clip. So toss that into the trash. I have a infrared heater in there now. So that's what I was going to show you guys. Replace that with another heater I just had laying around, so hopefully it lasts. But it was a great test because I was into the teens that night, Fahrenheit, and the water did freeze. I got a little drip out of the faucet, but I'm sure the tank was fine. But you've got water lines running everywhere. So that's, I'm sure, where it froze because you're, little 1/2-inch pipes and pieces of PEX tubing and stuff running throughout the van. So it did have a little trickle, but it didn't bust any pipes. And hence the title of this clip. It's better to be lucky than to be good. So I was extremely lucky for putting those heating pads underneath the batteries and underneath the water tank over the long weekend. And it was a job because I had to pull this completely apart, had to pull the electrical panel loose, pull this whole wall apart, pull the top plywood off because the batteries are underneath. But I did this on purpose because if somebody was to break in here and try to steal it, not saying they're not going to be able to, but they're definitely going to have to work for them. It took me a few hours because I had to move the stove off the top as well. That needs to be unwired because there's LED lighting, there's propane hooked to it, so all that stuff needs to be unhooked in order to get that piece of plywood off the top. And extremely hard still because there's framing around the batteries. I've got a piece of 1/4-inch angle iron across the tops of them to cage them in, so they can't even be lifted out of there without removing that. They're of course wired, so you'd have to cut all the 4-aught cable going to them. So you're going to be here a couple hours trying to steal those batteries, even if you're being destructive. So, not including the time to break into the van. So, done on purpose to secure the batteries and keep them from being stolen, but at the same time, it kind of bites you in the butt when you need to go back in there yourself. So, it's all coming back together. I think my propane hose creeped down underneath the van, which I didn't notice. So I'm going to have to deal with that down in the back here. My hose was a little short, so doesn't quite reach it. I need, a few more inches to get over there. So need to deal with that. While I had it apart, I shoved some, I'm going to call it steel wool, but it's not, or not steel wool. What do they call it? Mineral wool is what most people use, but this was like a fireproofing. I think it's kind of a form of it. Lowe's carries it, so I was able to stuff some of that on that exterior wall, which also insulates it a lot more. This here, going up the step, I was able to, this was just a piece I had laying around, stuffed it in the framing in here. So that also allowed more insulation for those little heating pads to kick in and work. And they're just, like I say, virtually just little heating pads. So not much to them, but saved me $3,000-4,000, whatever these batteries cost me a few months ago. I can't remember, but definitely not cheap for lithium batteries, but a huge game changer. I would buy them again in a heartbeat. But you need to protect what you got, because it's quite an investment. Nobody can really afford to throw thousands of dollars out the window. Even 1,000 is a lot of money. So anyway, I run that extension cord from my garage right here, just sneak it through the door and through this infrared heater in here now. So I've got that set at about 55 degrees, and last night it got down pretty chilly. See if we got some water here. Oh yeah, ooh, we made a mess. I'll get that clean. Here's a towel right here. But yeah, we got water. Nothing's freezing. Everything's happy. But of course, the night that other heater went out, it was in the teens. I think last night we probably hit the 20s Fahrenheit. So pretty nasty, guys. Sucks living in cold climates, but I just don't want to winterize it totally, because I just may want to take off in the snow or when it's cold or whatever, and I don't want to have to winterize it, de-winterize it, and back and forth if a guy just wants to jump in the van and take off. I've been wanting to meet up with a guy who is within an hour to me. I follow him. I think he follows me as well. His name's Mobile Tech. I believe it's just TEC, all one word. But he redoes like old, what do you call them? Like, I'm trying to think of the word. It's a slang word, but the old streamlines and things like that. The aluminum rigs and old Shastas and things like that. Kind of restores them. Does the siding on the outside and all kinds of really cool stuff. So we've exchanged emails and been in touch with each other, and I know about where he is. I don't know his exact address, but we'll cross that bridge when the time comes. I'm hoping to get down there. I think he has a shop as well. I have a garage, but it's completely packed pretty much with storage and a bunch of crap that you just acquire over the years, and for some reason I just can't never find the time to get organized out there, because there's always a project going. But hoping to get out his way eventually and meet up with him. And maybe we'll get some footage of his shop if it's okay with him, which I'm sure he won't have a problem with it because he's, you know, a YouTuber as well. So, like I say, we just got really lucky. We would have killed our batteries. Right now we're sitting at 13 volts. And Lola's been in here with me. So I got her little bed set up there on the platform. Of course, she just wants to be involved in anything and everything. That girl just is non-stop. Cattle dogs are just, you can't do anything without them seeing what you're doing, and you know, just they want to learn constantly. So it becomes a little aggravating, especially when you're trying to do something important, but you know, it is what it is. I knew that when I got into picking that style of breed. But you know, they're super cool dogs. She's so smart. um, we sent her to school because she was extremely wild and crazy. um, and I don't know, I don't want to say a falling out. We're civil on all those things, but I don't know, I guess just some personal preference issues or what have you with the dog trainer. And she's came a long way. She's a total different dog now by many circumstances. She just was biting you constantly and just insane. But you know, he has other dogs around constantly, so she was able to socialize with the other dogs, and she stayed with him 24/7 for 1 week, and she literally came back a different dog. We fostered another dog that he had, considering on taking in another dog for the following week, and then she went back with him for another week. And we've just kind of came up with the agreement that we would just keep her because she was spending a lot of time in the kennel because he was just so extremely busy. So a couple more weeks of me going back and forth, and long story short, I just, you know, it's like you're not teaching her anything that I can't teach her at this point. She's learned manners and been socialized and such. So, you know, we just kind of ended it at that point in time. Gee, my man, what's up, brother? Thanks for stopping by. Okay, I was worried about my leaf blower batteries might have been damaged. No, they should be just fine. Zapped in, as long as you don't charge them during the cold, you know, below freezing, or use them below freezing, of course. So just discharge and charging becomes an issue with lithium batteries. So if they're going to be used, and I don't, you know, mine don't use much, and it may not even bother them. Basically, I got the heaters on them now, so they are self um, using their own power to heat themselves. But beforehand, it was just, you know, keeping this refrigerator going. It's 12 volts. A couple beers in there. Had another buddy over. Didn't tell him about my YouTube channel yet, but a guy I met on Craigslist, actually. We met up, and he was down here for President's Day weekend, and kind of gave me a hand putting in these heaters, and we redid some cabinetry and stuff in his van. He bought a like a box van, similar to a U-Haul truck, and I didn't know, but it's just a straight box behind the cab. But I guess the ones that used to be U-Hauls have the loft area, I'm going to call it, or bed area above the cab. So his was not a U-Haul. Crazy in great shape. It has 35,000 miles on it. I think he said it was a 2001. So I mean, the thing is just mint condition. It's like it's right off the showroom floor. So you know, maybe we'll get some footage of him in the future, see how comfortable he is with being on camera, and let him know that I have this channel, just kind of keeping everything documented, and you know, he can learn from it as well if he has questions and stuff with his build. But that was kind of our plans, our intentions. You help me, I help you. Kind of the posting that I put on Craigslist, and you know, it seems to be working out pretty well so far with him in particular. I've had a couple weirdos, but you know, there's weirdos everywhere in the world. Yeah, you might want to check out Mobile Tech also, Billy. It's all one word, like I say, and I don't think there's a T or a CH on the end. It's just TEC. And I can't remember if the mobile has an E or without an E, but try, you know, a few different spellings there. He actually does the campers and the retro ones too. Does really good work. He even has a school that you can pay for. He records classes and stuff, and but the guy does extremely good work. He truly does. So I can't wait to get down there and check him out. He actually purchased his first lithium battery a couple weeks back, so I was kind of dialing him in on the information that I know about lithium now. I kind of had to educate myself, even though I'm in the industry of electricity. But one of the great things about being in the electrical industry, it's ever changing. So you constantly have to take classes and stuff like that, certifications, and something's always new, changing. You need new certs and different cards you got to carry around in your wallet. I've probably got, you know, everyday life, probably 10 different cards I carry in my wallet on top of additional things that just come up out of the blue. If you want to do something different or whatever, you got to go take a class, or and everything needs to be renewed. Of course, nothing's free. You got to take some classes sometimes to even be able to renew a card that you have. So it's just ongoing education, just constant, ever changing. So I have to refresh myself with a lot of things sometimes, even if I know it. Yeah, that looks correct, Zapton. Mobile Tech. I think you spelled it right. Kind of hard, you know, visualizing it in your brain or writing, you know, writing it down or seeing it typed. Yeah, HVAC is ever changing too. You know what I'm talking about. You guys deal with different freons. Have changed a couple few times over the years. You know, R22, and then it went to the, what is it? The, I think the 401 or whatever. And now there's something new. I can't remember, but a miniature retro style refrigerator I purchased actually for this van, but decided to go with a 12-volt refrigerator. It had a newer, the latest, greatest Freon. So yeah, 410. I said 401. So that was close. Like I say, familiar with a lot of stuff, but you know, everybody needs to refresh their memory when you got so much going on in there. I call it useless information, right? I made a mess. Let me clean up some water here. So yeah, the infrared heater's working great, and I don't know. That's just pretty much all I wanted to share with you guys. It's definitely good to be lucky than good is pretty much the moral to the story. I was extremely lucky. I installed those heaters literally the weekend before. I think it was like 2 days later. I had problems with that heater that died on me. So crazy thing, but you know, sometimes the good Lord's just looking out for you the way I look at it. So, excuse me, like and subscribe. Yeah, he does do ham radio. And I looked into that myself and bought a couple, what do they call Bofang or something like that. Once again, memory. Trying to remember all the stuff that I read and do over the years. But yeah, I picked up some of those cheap, I think they're called Bofang ham radios, handhelds. So I looked into it, downloaded an app actually to be able to go take the test and never followed up on it. Done a little studying on it here and there, and actually in the midst of it, somebody had said I think the test was about to get harder, so you should probably go take it. But you know, I just kind of bought them for emergency situations anyway. God damn it. Keep getting snowfall off the roof. I've done this twice since I've been talking here. Keeps falling off the roof right on the counter, making even a bigger mess. So yeah, I'm going to end it here, guys. As you can see, I got a mess and it keeps becoming a bigger mess. So just wanted to let you know where we're at. Snowed in, and we're probably going to hook up with Mobile Tech in the springtime. We've been talking about planning a fishing trip, camping trip type of ordeal in the near future once the weather breaks. He's got a older dog and it's diabetic. He has to give it a couple shots a day, and oh Lord, what have I done, guys? I need to go get a dry towel. Can't leave that just sitting there. It'll warp the countertop and become a bigger mess. So yeah, he's caring for his dog at the moment too, and going through a lot of stuff. So we'll you know, the dog's learning its way around the house a little more. He does update clips with it. Done a positive clip the other day. So dog lover myself, so pretty happy the dog is adapting, and it'll be good to get her out maybe for another camping trip. He was thinking the last time he went camping it was going to be her last, but I think she'll be okay, especially with you know, a few guys around keeping an eye on her, and you know, we'll see how that ends up. I think we decided on June, if I recall, so be a few more months out for sure, but something to look forward to on the channel. We'll definitely get some footage of that trip. So like and subscribe. It's your first time to the channel, and you know, I'll try to get you guys some more stuff up in the near future. But as I said, we're kind of snowed in. Things kind of suck right now. We're in the teens at night, and today is the warmest day of the week, and we're supposed to be 39 degrees Fahrenheit. So the only reason I got out here today, yesterday I didn't even get above freezing. So pretty much sucks in my life right now as far as weather. So till next time, guys, we will catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching. Peace.